When some people enter a room, all eyes turn to them. They don't speak loudly or dress in extravagant elegance. But there's an aura about them. It's as if they carry an invisible field of attraction. And the secret to this pull lies not in being completely natural, nor in a fully calculated plan. The secret is hidden at the threshold where sprezzatura and charisma are blended perfectly. At first glance, sprezzatura seems like a matter of style, effortless elegance. But when you look deeper, you realize its real impact touches people's souls. Because sprezzatura is not only about appearance, but about presence. And that is what charisma is, the power of presence. Charisma is something hard to describe with words. It is power, but it doesn't dominate. It is charm, but not clingy. And most importantly, it is never forced. That's where sprezzatura comes in. Sprezzatura is the aesthetic form of charisma. The looseness in appearance reflects discipline within. Imagine a man. His tie is slightly off-center, but his shirt fits perfectly. His shoes are old, but his steps are assured. His words are brief, his gaze long. People start wondering who he is, even before they learn his name. This is where charisma meets sprezzatura. The most striking side of sprezzatura is that it never declares, "I am here." But everyone knows it is. Just like true charisma, these kinds of people do not step onto the stage. The stage is built around them. For example, look at Alain Delon's youth. Even the emptiness in his gaze attracts attention. Because he doesn't try to hide anything. He knows he doesn't need to show anything. Or Tilda Swinton's androgynous stance. She doesn't feel the need to be feminine, nor does she adopt a masculine attitude. She simply is. Effortless, undefined, and yet unforgettable. Charisma is often about minimizing the excess. Sprezzatura is the outward story of this simplification process. Because true attraction is being impressive without being too much. This is where the difference between luxury and ostentation begins. Luxury is silent, ostentation shouts. Charisma is silent luxury. Sprezzatura is this silence reflected in the wardrobe, a bracelet on a woman's wrist that looks casually placed, a man putting his ring not on his finger but in his pocket, or instead of always making eye contact when talking, occasionally looking away on purpose. These are details. But these details reveal the inner balance behind a character. The world's most powerful figures are often those who speak little and listen a lot. Charisma persuades not by force, but by invitation. That's exactly how sprezzatura works. Brand names shouting from the inside of clothes are hidden. There is grace instead of showiness in the movements. Gestures are not grand, but meaningful. Charisma is managing without being seen. Sprezzatura is the aesthetic version of this management. As the ancient Roman rhetoricians said, convince not with words, but with posture. Even the walk, the way of sitting, the waiting of a charismatic person, carries a message. Just like what sprezzatura does in clothing, look closely if you want to understand me. Often, charisma is strengthened by flaws. Sprezzatura consciously carries this flaw. A woman may have a gap between her teeth, a man's ear may stick out a bit, but this does not fade them, they become unforgettable. Because that flaw makes them human. That's why imperfect things are lasting. Sprezzatura does this in clothing, charisma does it in the soul. When someone stands out, not because they wear a jacket properly, but because the jacket is carried by them. When someone is impactful, not when they speak, but when they're silent, they have charisma. Capturing the aesthetic of that silence is what sprezzatura does. Charisma also has a side that is mental, not material. Sprezzatura appears here too. Truly charismatic people don't sell their intelligence. They let it be sensed. These people don't laugh at their own jokes because making others laugh is enough. When they say something clever, they don't boast. They want to flow, not stand out. Like a stream deepening silently. Sprezzatura addresses this flow. With a wrinkled shirt collar, a jacket without buttons, pant legs fluttering in the wind. One day you remember someone. Not what they said, but how they looked at you. Not what they wore, but how they carried themselves. Not what they told, but how they stood. That person has charisma. And most of the time, what expresses that charisma is sprezzatura. People ask, why is this person so impressive? Most of the time, the answer is simple. Because they did not try to become that person. Because to be is deeper than to pretend. Sprezzatura is the invisible dimension of charisma. It neither shouts nor stays silent. It is neither hidden nor displayed. It is the natural sparkle of existence. It reveals itself in a posture, a look, a belated smile. And what we call charisma actually begins in a person's relationship with themselves. Sprezzatura is the outward form of this connection, neither lacking nor excessive, just right. If a man or woman stands in the corner of a room and changes the energy simply with their presence, that person is the Sprezzatura form of charisma. If you believe in the power of charisma and Sprezzatura, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our video, and share your thoughts in the comments.